Hey everybody, I'm Brian Hink, and I'm going to teach you how to play Barker's Row. So this was designed by Stephen Aramini. The incredible art was done by Andrea Olgiati, and it was published by Overworld Games. So let's open it up. I am also going to be using this mat. This may not have come in your copy, but it's going to help with, even if you don't have a mat, it's going to help with illustrating kind of how the game works. So open up your copy. Don't worry about the rule book because you have me. You're going to have to do a little constructing, not too much. I'm just going to put together one of the grandstands. So this is the red one. Let's go through this real quick. So you find the two side pieces. Connect those here. Doesn't really matter which side is facing out. Alright, put them like that. So you got kind of most of the grandstand. And then you're going to have benches, and one's going to have 5 seats on it, and the other 2 are going to have 4. It doesn't really matter which one goes where. I usually put the one with 5 seats on the bottom, but you can put it anywhere you'd like. They just slide in like this. And that's it. Those are your grandstands. So construct all 4 of those. I've got the rest of them constructed. So I'm going to put them out here. Like that. And yellow. Put that over here. So what else do you have? The only other construction you have to do, here's my tower. It's going to look slightly different than yours. You'll have a little standee. Yours is going to look a little different than mine. You put it through the hole here, like that, just so it shows on the other side. And then you're going to put the grandstand right through here. Not the grandstand, the strongman tower. This is a strongman tower. So there you go. So now you have your strongman tower. You're going to have these 4 little plastic pieces. You can put them all on 4. If you only have less than 4 people playing, you can remove any colors that aren't going to be used in this game. So you can put them like that. Alright, and then set this somewhere where it's going to be kind of easy to see. We'll put that, I'll put it right over here for now so you guys can see. Alright, so that's the only construction you have to do when you first open it. And then when you put it away, you can leave these grandstands fully constructed, just in case I forget to get to it. So you put them in like that, and then put them in like that. And then you can even put your cards right on top of it like that too. So show like that. I think we'll be able to get that with the overhead camera. So that's how you put everything away, so you don't have to reconstruct it every time. Alright, so now take out your 2 types of cards. I've got them sleeved. That is a personal decision. You can decide if you want to sleeve your cards. With these black backs, I recommend it, because otherwise you're going to start to see some wear on the sides. Some people don't mind that, but if you do, then you probably want to get some sleeves. So these are just standard tarot sleeves that you can find most places. Alright. The only other thing we have to talk about are meeples. So you'll have your meeples. So what I usually do is I usually have this on one side of the midway, kind of the midway area if you don't have a mat. And then I usually kind of put some meeples around there, kind of on one side, and then some more meeples on the other. These are called the crowd. Any meeples that are not in grandstands are called the crowd. So just make some piles that are in easy reach for everybody. So then you'll shuffle them up. If you've gotten any promo attractions, you can just add them in. And shuffle up all of these. And so these are the attractions. And then shuffle up all the Barker cards and set those in a pile. So that's pretty much set up. I'll do one more thing for setup. I'm going to create Barker's Row. So this is what the game was named after, Barker's Row. So you'll have 3 cards like this, and then usually you'll have the deck, put the deck probably near Barker's Row because you're going to be kind of using it quite a bit. There'll also be a discard pile that'll be somewhere too. So something like this is a good setup. And then the attractions, you'll deal 5 to each player. That's it for setup. Now you'd be ready to begin playing. So let me teach you how you do that, how you play. So the goal of the game is to get 13 meeples in your stands. So these little meeples are going to be appearing in your stands. I'll show you how to get them. And as soon as someone gets 13, the game immediately ends. You don't do like a final round or anything. You get 13 people in your stands, you win. To get people in your stands, you play attractions. These are the rubes. So you're trying to get the rubes to come into your stands and see your attractions. So I dealt 5, but at the beginning of the game, you're going to choose 3 to keep, and then you're going to discard the other 2. So I highly recommend for your first game to have one of each color, if possible, one of each suit. So there's, don't worry about wild, but there's 4 different suits in the game: horrors, beasts, freaks, and oddities. So in the 5 that I was dealt, I have a nice selection here. I'm just going to choose these 3, and these are going to be my first. And then I'm going to discard the other 2. And the red player would do the same thing. They're going to take away one of these for sure, and one of those. So that's going to be theirs. They're going to discard these. So you just put them on the bottom of the deck, and then you shuffle. So any discards, anytime you put attractions back in the deck, you shuffle the whole deck, because there are going to be, each time you play an attraction, you're going to draw a new card, so you just want to make sure that this is always shuffled. Okay, so like I said, you need to get 13 people in your stands to win. You're going to play attractions in front of your grandstand. So the area in front of your grandstands is called your stage. So you put attractions on your stage, and then every time you do that, 2 people are going to come into your stands. So that's the primary way you're going to get people in your stands, rubes in your stands. There's only one thing you have to do on your turn. You have 1 required action, so you can see that on here, just 1 required action. Play a card from Barker's Row into the midway. So we're going to do that here. We're going to play, we'd see which attractions we have. We know there's a horror suit, an oddity suit, and a beast suit that we could put into play. We don't have any oddities, so we wouldn't play that. We'd probably choose one of these 2 to play. So we're going to bring a beast down into the midway. So we bring that in. So we're at a value 1 here. We're at 4 on the strongman tower. So we need a value of 4 in our suit in order to play an attraction of that suit. So we've still got a ways to go. So if that was blue's turn, then red would go, and red would say, "Ooh, I've got a horror, and there's 2 horrors. Let's try to get that going." So let's pull down 1 horror card. So this is a 2. So now we have a 2 in horrors. Red's at level 4, so it's still not enough for them to play. So then it would be blue's turn again. We've got another horrors here. So he's got horrors, and he says, maybe I'll have enough to play it. Yes. So he got the only 3 horror. There's 1 3 of each suit in the deck. There are 2 2s, and then the rest are 1s. So this is a nice pull for horrors. And it gets us a value of 5 for the horror suit. And blue is at level 4, so 5 is enough to play, and it's okay to be over. So blue only needs 4, but they'll take 5, so they're going to score an attraction. So what you do to score an attraction is you, actually the steps are right on the back of your grandstands. So scoring an attraction, discard used midway card. So that's these 2. We're going to use these 2. We're going to discard them. Then we would move the tower marker. So every time we play an attraction, we're going to go up on the, and I think we said blue played this one. So we're going to go up here to level 5. So we were at level 4, and now we're at level 5. The third thing we do is we add rubes to the grandstand. So anytime you play an attraction, you add 2 rubes to your grandstands. You can choose any one, doesn't matter which one. And then the fourth thing is to draw a new attraction card. So you just draw the top card from the attraction deck. And so when we played the attraction, we would have actually probably done this. So the words on these cards are the things this is all theme. Don't worry about like rules wise, but these are the things you're yelling out to the crowd to say, come see my blood curdling attraction. It's terrifying. These are the words you're using to describe your attraction. So when you play it, you can say, step right up and see the blood-curdling, terrifying, grim reaper. And as we go up, you're going to need more and more cards to play attractions, so you're going to add more and more words as you play your attraction. So it gets to be pretty crazy. So that's something fun that you can do when you play an attraction. So we did our 4 things when we play an attraction. We've got our card, discarded cards, added meeples, put our attraction down there. So that's it. It would be, I could play, if I had enough cards out here to play another attraction, I could do that. So I could play 3 different attractions if I had the cards available to do that. Usually it's just 1, so I play that. If I wanted, I could use the ability right away. Let's see what the ability is. Retire 1 attraction in addition to this one without using its effect, and then take 1 rube from the crowd. So these, let's say I had played a Minotaur before. So these are things that I can use. They're one use of abilities. So this one is take 1 rube from the crowd for every 2 attractions on your stage. Remember, this is your stage. So let's say I had this out on my stage as well. These 3 were all on my stage. I could say take 1 rube from the crowd for every 2 attractions on the stage. So I could use it, and then I would take 1 rube from the crowd for every 2 attractions on my stage. So I would get a free rube that way. And then retired attractions, usually you want to put these just behind your grandstand, somewhere where you won't mix them up with the ones that are in your hand already. And so that's how you use an attraction. So you can play an attraction, use its ability right away, or save it for later. So really the only rule that I haven't showed you is wilds. So as we know, we can bring cards from, the only thing we have to do on our turn is bring 1 card down from Barker's Row into the midway. So we've talked about suits, so we have a 3 in oddities right now, and we have a 1 in beasts. So the other thing is a wild that you can bring down. So when you bring down a wild, it's either a 1 or a 1+. So this one's a 1. So that would just add 1 to all the other suits here. So it would add 1 to oddities. So this is at 4 value. It would add 1 to freaks, so it's at a 1. I'd add 1 to beasts, which would now be at a 2. And horrors would now be at a 1 as far as value goes of each suit. So red here now has a 4 oddities. If they had an oddities in their hand, which they do, they could play that because they're at level 4 on the Strongman Tower. So that's how wilds work, the 1s anyway. So the 1+s are a little special. So if you get a 1+, it will add 1 to each of the suits, just like the 1 did. But also you get to immediately bring down another card from Barker's Row. So you can bring any of these. So you replace it just like we did here. And so there's 3 cards again, and then you can choose right away, I want a horrors, and you play it right away. And you can kind of string those together as well. So if you get a 1+, you pull down another wild, that was 1, but you pull down another 1+ and another 1+, you can keep going. And so you can have a really big turn that way. So that's how wilds work. So if you ever have 3 of the same suit in your hand, so this hand is all oddities, it makes it really hard to play attractions because you can only use oddities, and if no oddities come out, it makes it really hard. So if you ever get 3 of the same, you can show it to everybody. It's optional. You could keep 3 if you really want to, but you can show it to everybody, and then you would discard them all into the deck. You'd shuffle it up. So you might get those cards again, but you're going to draw 3 new ones. So you shuffle it up, and then you draw yourself 3 new cards. And then, see, these are a lot better. So if you do happen to get 3 of the same again, you can just do it again. Do it as many times as you want until you don't have 3 of the same suit in your hand. There's no limit to the number of attractions you can have on your stage. And let me just go through one use here. So treat 1 3 card on the midway as a 6 card this turn. So for instance, this one is a 3. So we can, if we had an oddities in our hand, which we actually don't, let's say maybe you have this guy on your stage because you have an oddities. So you're at level 4 on the tower. If we didn't have any of these, Wilds. We couldn't quite play it. We're at level 4 for red on the Strongman Tower, and there's only 3 oddities on the board. But if you wanted to use this, we can treat this 1/3 as a 6 for this turn. So we turn it over, probably put it back here somewhere, and now this is a 6. So we would use it, discard it, to play our attraction. So step right up and come see the Uncanny Temple Idol. Let me put this away. And then that's it. You can also play, we could do this, we could have done this right away before we did our required action of bringing one down to the midway. So you can do those in any order. So I played this attraction, and now I'm going to take my required action to bring another beast card down. And there we go. So then it would be the blue player's turn. Of course, I would do my what happens when you play an attraction, which is you draw a new card, you add 2 people to your stands, you go up on the tower. So red would be up to 5. All right, and then that's it. So that's how you play Barker's Row. Pretty easy, simple rules. You should be able to, especially with like the cool, cute components, you should be able to get your casual gamer friends to play this with you, but there's still some strategy as far as kind of midway management and when you choose to use your attractions, so there's still some good crunchy decisions in there for you. If you have questions about the rules, like maybe how does one attraction work with another attraction power, something like that, the best thing to do would be to go to BoardGameGeek.com, and then you can search for Barker's Row. There's a forum section where people ask rules questions, so your question may already be there answered. And if it's not, then you can post it, and somebody will answer your question pretty quickly. The other option would be to just email Overworld Games, so support@overworldgames.com, and we will also answer your question that way.